Hello and welcome to today's surprise episode of the Charisms for Catholics podcast. We have a normal episode coming out tomorrow, just like we always have planned for Thursdays. But today is a very special day. I wanted to share something exciting with you, and that is the fact that for the first time ever, we have a dedicated assessment just for teenagers. I cannot even tell you how excited this makes me. As many of you know that have heard my story before, I discovered Charisms when I was 17 years old, and I was trying to figure out where to go to college and what to focus on and where to really allocate my time to best become the person that God made me to be. And I didn't really have any resources to do that. There was very few things available on Charisms as a whole, and there was nothing. And I've still, to this day, never found anything specifically made for teenagers. And so we are fixing that, and I could not be more excited. Today is the launch of our Charism assessment specifically for teenagers. It is not the same as our adult assessment. It is completely rewritten. It is completely reworked. Instead of having the scale where you choose agree to or strongly agree to strongly disagree, it's actually multiple choice for every single question. And so it allows teens to not overthink things, to really just choose the answer that resonates most with them. And we have also completely rewritten the report for teenagers as well. So when you finish this version of the assessment, you get a report that has the basics of the charism and links to our podcast episodes, just like the adult report. But in the teen report, there is a list of possible college majors for every charism. There is a list of possible trade or certification pathways that would be a good fit for every individual charism. There's lists of possible jobs for each individual charism. And there is also a concrete example of a person from the Bible showing us what it's like to have this charism and to use it in the service of the Lord. And we have also expanded and totally fleshed out the specifics of both purpose and identity in this assessment, so that in every report, there is a personalized letter written to the teenager addressing exactly where they're at in their journey for understanding their purpose, understanding their worth. And there is also this section on identity, like we have in the adult assessment, but in the kids version, in the teens version, I should say, there is a list of personalized lies to renounce and truths to declare. So this features a lot of incredible updates, some of which we are also going to be bringing to the adult assessment. We're going to be adding in those lies and truths declarations to the adult report. We're also going to be changing the way the adult report works so that it's not the scale anymore, but actual individual answers. And those changes, those updates are already ready to go in the teen assessment. This assessment was created specifically for kids 14 to 18, 19, 20-ish in mind. This is ideally for people in high school, but people that are freshmen or sophomores in college could also potentially benefit from this version of the assessment. It really depends on kind of where developmentally they are at. So I'm going to say more men, young men in freshman and sophomore in college might resonate with this assessment, whereas some young women at that same age might feel like the adult assessment resonates with them more. Regardless, this is going to be an incredible tool, and I want to partner with you all to help us spread the word about this. This is something that could be so clarifying, so helpful to young people trying to choose a pathway in life, trying to understand what it is that God has given uniquely to them. And I'm so excited to see it spread far and wide. Our mission, our goal is to get this into youth ministry programs all over the world, to get this into Catholic high schools all over the world, to get this into guidance counselors' offices at those Catholic schools, so that there is direction that is in line with the faith that this Catholic school has just spent the last 4 years or the last 3 years trying to develop in this young person, and giving them a sense of what it can look like to continue that journey after high school, which so many of us know that the plot gets lost on that when kids go to college, unless they understand how it still fits into their life. And this is an incredible tool to do that. Not only is this so amazing for individuals, those guidance counselors, if the assessment's provided through the school, those youth ministers, if the assessment is provided through the parish, will get access to their specific students, their specific kids in their group that have taken the assessment, and be able to understand where kids are at, not just in their gifts, but also in their identity. Do they know Christ? Have they had an encounter with him? Do they really trust him? Where are they at? And I am so excited for the data to start pouring in, because my guess, my strong supposition, is that kids are not going to fall where we would guess that they would fall. Some of them, yes, we're going to be right about some kids. But there are other kids who we think are doing great that might not be, because that was me. And there's other kids who we think are struggling that might be in a great place. And we don't know unless we ask the questions. And that's what the assessment does, is it asks the questions. This data is never shared or given away in any other ways than with the actual person who has purchased the assessment for youth, or through our just overarching statistical analysis. We actually have an episode of the podcast coming out later this month looking at what are the results of some of that statistical analysis we've done on the adult assessment, and what does that tell us about charisms. So it's really cool to be building this data set for adults in the past, and now to add young adults to be able to understand where people are at holistically within the church, which is just so exciting. So if you know a young person, if you are a young person looking to better understand where it is that God is drawing you in your life, I really encourage you to check out our brand new Teen Charism Assessment, which is available at the link in the description or at manypartsministries.com.